Hello beautiful people, Robyn Thomas here, also known as Braids by Rob. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of the micro braids takedown and detangle. Part 1 is linked in my description box. Click on that and check that out first if you have not seen that one before watching this one. This is where I take her micro braids out. I explain tips and techniques, and I do it in less than 3.5 hours, just a little shy of 3.5 hours. So check that out before getting into this one. All right, so this is her hair completely taken down, and now I'm just kind of going through it and taking out any shed hair that easily comes out. Right now, taking that hair out, just helps a little bit. Any little bit helps. That's how I feel. So go ahead and taking that shed hair out kind of helps when it comes to detangling it. As I mentioned in the last video, her hair is kind of dry. You can tell, kind of by looking at it. And we talked about, well, I get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about this takedown process, finger detangle process first. Well, we'll get back into that. So this is why I like to detangle. Look at this. These are micro braids. They were done on small sections. Small pieces of hair were added to small sections. And I'm finger detangling to make sure that I retain as much length as possible. As we all know, our hair sheds about 50 to 100 strands a day, just depending. Some people a little less, some people a little more, depending on the condition of their hair. So we are going to receive some shedding. She's had these in almost 3 months. That's a lot. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is she has also kept up with washing her hair. Well, she said she washed her hair about 5 times, I believe. Yeah, she said she washed her hair about 5 times. However, I do not remember her saying that she deep conditioned while having her braids in. I know that she did deep condition about 2 to 3 times, I believe, after taking her braids out, at different times, making sure to restore the moisture and stuff back into her hair before getting her next set of micro braids installed. So she tries to take care of her hair. Sometimes we fall off. It's all good. It happens. But I did talk to her about deep conditioning. So look at this. Watch this. Look at that. So imagine me going through that hair, that micro hair with that comb. Imagine how much hair would have come out, as opposed to this, separating the hair with my fingers, and little to no hair comes out. Well, I'll say little hair because hair was coming out. But look at that. That resistance right there. And then that's what starts to lead to people becoming tender-headed and losing so much hair. It's not all shedding. Then now it becomes breakage because of being mismanaged. You know what I'm saying? And that's by using a thin comb, or not a thin comb, a rat tail comb. So I always finger detangle when I'm taking out braids first. And you say, well, that's a small comb. Well, look at this. The point of detangling your hair is to get all the knots and stuff out. So eventually you're going to have to go through that section. Even using the big comb, you're still doing the same thing. Even using a wide tooth comb, it's still taking out hair that you really want to be there. You know what I mean? And like I was saying, it could cause people to become tender-headed, you know what I'm saying, to have a little scalp sensitivity for a little period of time, like, ooh, those braids did me bad, and it was like, well, maybe the braids did good, but it was a takedown, because it was rushed, just always like that. But I'm just showing you again that it's always best to do detangle, especially stuff like this, with your fingers, because of how small the pieces are that you're detangling. You'll just retain a lot more length. So even if you just go through it a little bit. So when I started to get more towards the top of her head, or middle, excuse me, of her head, it started to become easy where I was able to just pull and take it out, and just comb through it with my fingers and take out any shed hair that there was. I was able to easily do it. This is not sped up. This section right here, actually, I don't think much of this video has been sped up. I'm literally just doing this and going through. I think finger detangling her hair. Well, I won't say because I don't want to lie. And I tend to over exaggerate when I'm trying to figure out stuff. So I'll just wait. I think I show on here how long it takes as well. So, but yeah, when I get to a part where I can't just go through with my fingers, I separate that section that's right there. And, just keep on going. And I don't detangle on wet hair. I feel like when you wet your hair, especially when your hair still needs to be detangled, it coiling back up causes it to be harder to detangle the hair, and it takes longer to detangle the hair, in my opinion. So I tend to do it on dry hair. Now, I do keep a spray bottle of water next to me just in case I hit a tough piece that I feel needs to be moisturized first before me handling or dealing with it. You can see a little bit the hair that's in my fingers. That's what I do. I hold it in my hands until I can't I feel like I can't hold all the hair that I'm getting anymore. Then I'll just dump it to the side. This kind of helps keep up with how much hair, because I do want to see how much hair they lose, so I can show them. We can talk about ways of retaining more hair. And her thing was, I don't think she deep conditioned while she had me. I know she washed her hair 5 times, but I don't believe she deep conditioned. So you definitely want to deep condition your hair. Keep your same routine that you have, because your hair still needs that moisture. As well as your hair does outside of a protective style. Think of how it would do inside a protective style, and you're making sure that your scalp is clean, and you are making sure that your strands are moisturized with a deep conditioner. You know what I mean? When you're washing your hair, it's easier because it's already pre-parted. You get to the parts a lot easier, you know what I mean? And then you get to you get to deep condition it. Put some deep conditioner only on the section of your hair. So if you have waist length box braids, you don't have to put conditioner on the whole length of the braid all the way to the waist. No, that's a waste of products. You just put it on where your hair stops. So if your hair stops at bra strap, do it all the way to bra strap or a little bit above bra strap. That way that that you're able to penetrate your strands while it's in a protective style, and you just sit with the conditioner on. You don't have to sit under a dryer or anything. I advise you do this on a day you don't have anywhere to go. It definitely becomes a wash day when it comes to washing braids, but you want to keep up with your routine because that helps to retain the moisture in your hair, which helps with with minimum shedding and minimum breakage. Whenever it does come time to take your hair out, water and your hair being moisturized strengthens your strands. You always want to make sure that you are moisturizing your hair, and of course balancing it out with protein when needed. Protein is not needed nearly as much as a good deep condition. So for the edges too, I just take my time and if I can go through it easily, I just go through it slowly and easy. If not, I'll take it and stretch it as you see me do many of the other pieces of hair, and then just take out that hair that's shed and got caught up in there. And I take my time, she's not flinching or anything, and make sure I'm not hurting the client. I don't believe in that. I do not believe in that hurting. Now, some of us are tender, and we can't help it. Maybe something happened, or we just always been tender-headed, whatever the case may be. But if you're not tender-headed, your braid shouldn't hurt while you're getting them installed. It shouldn't hurt while you're getting them taken down. You have to take your time. You have to get a braider that cares about your hair as well as the end results of the style. So yep, I'm going to let you all continue watching it as I detangle her hair. On my last video, I mentioned her edges being out, of me not putting any of her edges in their problem areas. So you want to hear about that, definitely go back and watch the last video. Again, it's going to be linked in my description box below. Alrighty, so we are down to the last few micro braids to detangle, or micro braid sections to detangle. Detangle all of her hair with my fingers. I have not picked up a comb. I did not have to use a spray bottle. There weren't any areas that were tough to where I couldn't get it. And her washing her hair and trying to keep her hair as clean as possible, because you're going to get that debris and stuff right there. As you can see it, you're going to get that. But to not have it as much and to make it easier for the detangling process, you want to make sure you try to keep your scalp as clean as possible. So I'm just raking through one more time with my fingers and gathering all of that hair that has shed. Just gathering it all, taking it all. We talked about her needing her ends clip before her next install, so we're going to do that for her next install. So this is how much hair she lost. Remember, we lose about 50 to 100 strands per day. So I want you guys to leave a comment and let me know what you think about the amount of hair that she lost. Do you think that that's too much hair? Do you think that's pretty average? Or do you think that's pretty good to have had those micro braids in for 10 weeks? Tell me what you think in the comments. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching these videos. Like them if you give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Again, comment on what you think about the hair being shed, or the amount of hair being shed, and subscribe for more videos. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I will see you all next time. Peace and blessings.